people are saying that there are better skills to go for, which I can't completely disagree with, but I like the idea of having a set that's tailored to a specific weapon type. When you're focusing on just damage skills, it almost simplifies the process. Jesus, these people are fast! Oh, they're doing this, so they're going to leave without me? I'd guarantee they're going to fucking leave without me. Can I please just choose something? No. I'm meant to go to my room. They're going to fucking leave without me, you watch. I said hi to them. But I need to change to something appropriate. I've got a dragon weapon. I didn't know that they were grinding this monster. I will just change to a water greatsword, keep it simple, because if I'm not quick enough, they will depart without me. I'm actually tempted to not even eat, because as I recall, there are max potions included in the box, so I will just leave it at that. So the other guy had already readied up. Zelda has now readied up. I don't know, I just don't trust this group. I don't trust any group. I think they would have been perfectly comfortable with departing without me. I can see that both of them were actually looking in their box, which is probably the reason why they didn't depart without me. It's because they were still getting ready. Welcome everyone, by the way. This is going to be the start of the VOD because there's no real point in me having a, 8-minute long lead in. So, yeah, welcome. Almost got departed without, I think. Although one of them did say hi to me. So I wasn't completely ignored. Don't know why this guy is taking the time to do a greeting gesture towards me. Maybe it was entirely friendly and nothing else. But yeah, just to cap off the conversation that I was having outside of... Did I take that max potion or did I not? What's going on? I thought there was a max potion that I just took. Maybe there wasn't. Unless I saw deodorant and thought it was a max potion, that would be quite incredible. I did. I actually thought that the deodorant was a max potion because I was so distracted by my monologue. Anyway, just to cap off the conversation that I was having before I started the VOD, I will actually work on improving my elemental charge blade set. We can say comfortably that my impact charge blade set is very damage focused with artillery, but not load up. And then in the case of my elemental charge blade set, I can just edit what I currently have and then add load up to it. I think that's what I'll work on. What we're hunting at the moment, just for the benefit of those who are not watching live, is a high rank Molten Tigrex, so you will see this one die very quickly. I'm hoping these guys aren't grinding this one for very long. Oh, possible connectivity issues here. You can see there was quite a bit of lag with the monster. Fortunately didn't suffer much knockback, blowback, whatever you want to say. Allowed me to stay in a good position to hit the monster. Oh, we've got a flash bomb here. These guys think they're playing 2nd gen Monster Hunter. Flash bombing Tigrex. What a beautiful hitbox. Do you see that? Actual pixels. Maybe 2 or 3 pixels away from making contact with me, but didn't because he didn't touch me. Quite an unheard of experience in Freedom Unite. At least in the case of most monsters. I should make that clear. There are some monsters in Freedom Unite, for example, that are actually quite fair with their hitboxes. They're the more recent monsters, like Hypnoc, for example. He was a brand new frontier monster. His hitboxes are actually quite appropriate. And on occasion, you can have fair hitboxes from Nagakuga. Hey, Ron Money. Nope. I think I'm in position to get hit by that. I am no longer in position. Oh, I am now. Fuck. It's very annoying when he does the double. Just to be clear, I did not start with purple sharpness, so I'm happy to just settle for what I have here, quite obviously. There's nothing for me to sharpen up to. I'm just saying that almost for myself, because whenever I see that I'm using a greatsword with white sharpness, that thought crosses my mind of, have I dropped sharpness? Because it's important to stay at purple when you're using a greatsword. It's a weapon type where your attacks are less frequent, but more damaging. So it's particularly worthwhile to have maximum damage, and indeed worthwhile to sharpen up. Garo, I think, has possibly thrown a tantrum and left the quest. I don't know. I could be wrong. But that wasn't him disconnecting from the room. That was him just abandoning by the looks of it. I think he died and then rage quit. It's just the way it looked. I could always be wrong. But yeah, so apparently that was his second feint and he's just rage quit. Am I correct in saying that he's the... Yeah, he's the HR 120 something. So he's behaving like an adult baby in a high rank quest, which is a bit strange. Obviously, there is the question of why he's dying twice to a high rank monster. But the secondary question to that would be, why is he being such a spoilsport about it? Well, I'm happy to ferry these people through the quest. That was probably a bit presumptuous of me. I think they're handling it just fine. Certainly better than the other guy, who's picked up his toys and gone home. Yeah, I hadn't actually noticed his first feint. You'd be surprised, or perhaps you wouldn't be surprised, just how subconsciously I play this game while chatting away. I really do need to get rid of my blast, but yeah. Well, I'm almost glad that I didn't. In fact, I'm entirely glad that I didn't. Oh, for goodness sake. Obviously, getting launched in this game is not as bad, because you can actually get an attack out of it. But if I'm in the middle of charging, yes, it is fucking annoying. Like, if I've got a greatsword and I'm doing a big charge attack, and you interrupt it, yes, that's going to annoy me. I don't care if I'm getting launched into a mounting attack. I'd rather get my level 3 greatsword charge off than some random mounting attack. But anyway. I understand that it was for a good cause. It was for a high damage amped elemental discharge. Super amped elemental discharge, sorry. That's what the S stands for. Hello, Himari. Tiggy is red, because he's a subspecies. Who would have thought? He's called Molten Tigrex. He is a Monster Hunter 4 subspecies. I believe he's in Monster Hunter 4. Because he appears in high rank in 4 Ultimate, I presume that he appears in Monster Hunter 4. Look, I'm never going to pretend to know much about what's in Monster Hunter 4. I remember watching the gameplay of 4 when it came out, before 4 Ultimate came out, but it was long ago enough, and I never played it, so I just don't really know what was exclusive to that game. I'm aware of various changes. The Charge Blade was either stronger or weaker. I just remember they flexed it or nerfed it in some way in this game. And yeah. I just remember... All I really remember of the Monster Hunter 4 release was just watching it and thinking that it looked like mud. That's really the main... Oh, here we go. Session's been terminated. Yeah, that's the main standout recollection that I have of the Monster Hunter 4 release. And to be clear, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate still looks like mud, but it really looked like mud in those days. I don't know if this is... No, that's not going to be the haul that we want. Oh, whoops. I did that entire hunt with both screens up. See, that's the fucking danger. Whenever I have both screens up, I inevitably forget that I've got them both up. It just really frustrates me when I do that. Anyway, I was actually going to show you the bottom screen again. Oh, they're filling back up into the same room as before. Either that or... I don't know what's going on. Whatever. Well, I'm happy to hear that you like both screens. It just so happens that I do not, at all. I think it's very substandard, and ruins the immersion of the hunt when I choose to use both screens. It has its place, it has its usefulness, but it's not what I'm going to keep with. Seer of Swords. Fuck. I may as well demonstrate my new light pierce bowgun set. For the... oh god, now I'm going to the wrong hall. Because this is where they were going before. Fortunately, we are no longer doing high rank quests. Okay. But yeah, I did have a light pierce set before. In other words, a rapid fire pierce set. I think that's a better way to refer to it. It's not just single shot pierce, but light bowgun. It's taking advantage of the fact that I'm using a light bowgun by having bonus shot. And if I say bonus shot, that pretty much narrows it down to a light bowgun anyway. I'll make sure that I have all of the pierce level 2 that I can carry. And once again, pray that they are courteous enough not to depart without me, even though I'm standing here with the quest actually above my head. Alright. So I've updated it. It used to have Critical Eye. Sorry, it had Critical God. I've now replaced Critical God with Critical Eye +1 and Challenger +2, which makes for a much better loadout. And the skills are like so. I basically got any Pierce S so that I could, when I ran out of Pierce level 2, which this gun can rapid fire, I could then load Pierce 1. Or even Pierce 3 if I'm minded to do so. One thing that I also changed was I put a long barrel on this bowgun because there was absolutely no need for... what I decided was, instead of putting a silencer on my bowgun so that I could shoot Pierce level 3 with minimal recoil, I decided to just double down on the damage that I would get from bonus shot by putting on a long barrel. Of course, the barrel that you put on your bowgun, or perhaps more specifically, putting a silencer on your bowgun is not going to reduce the wait time of a bonus shot. Oh, sorry, reduce the wait time for rapid fire. Rapid fire is a set recoil amount based on the bowgun that you're using. The affinity that my gun has, by the way, without Challenger +2 is 50%. Without it in effect, that is to say. We are now at 70%. I was hoping for a 30% increase, or rather an increase of 30 points, for a total of 30% affinity. Sorry, for a total of 80% affinity. You know what I mean. But, that's fine. An additional 20% plus the damage boost is definitely worthwhile. I don't know why my camera just snapped to the sky like that. It was a little bit disorienting. Well, apparently, P-Berry likes the actual look of the set, in terms of the armor pieces. I can assure you that it is completely coincidental that it looks nice. I'm all about skills over appearances. To the extreme. I've got some really ridiculous looking sets. If I ever get to the point where I have absolutely nothing else to do in the game, I could just use Athena's armor set search and just key in the same skills that I already have for sets that exist in my set list, and then just look for better armor piece combinations. Ones that look less ridiculous than what I already have. I'm seeing some latency with the monster. I'm assuming that it's latency. I'm seeing the monsters that I'm fighting with this group just stopping and not progressing to another animation, which I think is due to some sort of network connectivity issue. As long as it doesn't result in an actual disconnect, I really don't care. Hey, Simply Room. We're on the way to a full house. I'm glad you're all here. God. Probably not the best idea to start my rapid firing now. Fortunately, that was a fairly low damage attack. Thank God for that. As tempting as it is to contribute to the knockdown damage, I really want to prioritize healing. It's always easy to be tempted. You can see that Rapid Fire Pierce is not a great choice for a monster like this that's constantly moving around. I shouldn't say Rapid Fire Pierce as if it's specifically Pierce that's the problem. Although this monster isn't amazing for Pierce. It's acceptable, but there are better monsters to use Pierce with. Rapid Fire in general is bad for very mobile monsters. Can we one-zone him? I will try. I'll do the best I can. Oh, I was hoping that he would go a little further than that. We did fail to one-zone. But again, I think there is a good chance that one or two of the people in our group are actually still using high-rank weaponry. One of them's asking if we're going to capture. Again, sort of strange communication. One of the guys is like, capture? And then in response to that, someone's like, okay. It was a question, not not an assertion. Which is a bit annoying. Anyway, that's alright. If we end up with a captured monster, then very well. I just don't know who's saying what. I mean, I can see that Garo has the same name in... Oh, is he flying off? Yes, he is. I can see that Garo has the same name in the chat, but the other hunters do not. To be honest, I can't really complain because I have a different name in the chat as well. Well, I'm glad that I kept shooting, because these guys can't trank worth a fuck. Oh. We ended up finishing off with an SAED. Despite the mount. Why are the colours so washed out in this area? I don't get it. Is there a reason why? Is it for some sort of dramatic effect? It's actually off-putting to me, because it looks like there's something wrong with my game. That's how harsh these colours are. Yeah, I think they did fix it in Generations, which begs the question, was it intentional? You always have to ask that question with Capcom. The temptation is always to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, oh, I'm sure they meant to do that, but no. No, you probably shouldn't give them the benefit of the doubt, as tempting as it might be. Yeah, it's a bit of a wacky location. And I don't really understand, like, what's going on over there? They look like there was a small exit that hadn't been fully formed, at least according to the map. No, that's not the area that tilts. Although that is also... Is that... I don't think that even is in Generations Ultimate. No, it is. I think it is in Generations Ultimate. Sorry. called Heaven's Mount. Well, the thing is, the tilting gimmick, I think, could have very easily been overused, and I'm glad that they didn't do that. I would much prefer that it would be an occasional thing that you would have to deal with in certain areas. They could have really gone for it. So, that was actually Zelda's urgent quest into G2. I can breathe a sigh of relief. I've narrowly avoided the G1 quest list. I'll say it again, I have recently been doing a lot of G1 questing in this game. In my own time, but I think also on camera, so I'm very happy to avoid that. The G2 stuff is going to be a bit more interesting, because G3 is almost exclusively Elder Dragons and Apex crap. So G2 is sort of the meat of the monster list. All the fun stuff is what I would say. That's not to suggest that Elder Dragons aren't fun, it's just a very specific category of monster. Ew, a capture quest. Well, my enthusiasm is draining away at light speed. I'll bring my elemental set and, I don't know, fire switch axe if I've got one. That is not a switch axe, Doomlink. Try again. Yeah, I had a feeling that I didn't have a fire switch axe. It's hard to imagine that I don't have a fire switch axe, isn't it? Given that I'm hunt rank 661. How is that possible, Doomlink? It's because, you know, my character progression is very unnatural in this game, because early on, I was really hoping to get relic weapons, instead of actually forging specific things. It's really unfortunate. Alright, what else do I have that's fire that would work with this set? I can, well, I don't think. Did I make a dual blade set? That's one thing that I was intending to do. I think I was in the process of making a dual blade set, but didn't finish it. What? This is it, isn't it? Oh, that's my old one. Also, I must have a new one. Do I? So I've moved my old... Oh, that's my old elemental set. Right. And that's my new elemental set. Okay. So I don't have a dual blade set. No. I was in the process of making it, though. Very well. I will bring a bow in that case. Hopefully I'm not being too slow for these people. I believe Gigantomaki is my weapon. Oh, Jesus Christ, they're already asking if I'm coming. It's called getting ready for the quest. Can you fucking imagine that?
Are you coming with us?
Yes. Although I'd rather that you asked than just depart without me, quite frankly. Jesus. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't complain that they're being impatient, because their impatience is manifesting as, you know, questioning whether or not I'm coming, rather than just leaving without me. Yeah, of course, they only use the same set for every hunt, which frustrates me. They don't seem to realize that if you have numerous armor sets and numerous weapons to choose from, because you're at a higher rank, it's not going to mean that you will be immediately ready for a quest. It means that there is some preparation that goes into this. And I didn't bring any fucking coatings because these people are rushing me. But anyway. I mean, do you really think that that was an unreasonable amount of time for me to take? It was like 2 minutes. Anyway. I mean, you can talk about patience not being a thing in their squad. I think it would be more accurate to say that patience is not a thing in this community. And I don't mean for Ultimate specifically. I mean in, 2020's Monster Hunter. It doesn't exist. You would be very hard-pressed to find it. Almost every group that you come across just does not care. I mean, these guys are nice enough to wait for me. Admittedly. They are in the minority already. But they are still in the majority of people who are notably impatient. Like, they've actually seen my weapon type change. That's the other thing, they're actually very unobservant as well. They see that my weapon type is changing. And yet they need to ask the question of whether or not I'm coming. It's bizarre. Anyway. Because that's one of the things that I look for if I'm seeing, what is going on? Garol, you don't have an excuse for this kind of play. Unless your excuse is high rank is hard enough and now you're in G rank, so if you died twice in high rank, you're likely to die in G rank as well? If that's the explanation, then fine. I suppose I'll just have to accept that. I was doing very strange things with my controller just there. Need to get away from this Celtis. My assumption is one of two. So either Garol doesn't heal, or he has a terrible armor set. I need to Dust of Life these people before we fail the fucking quest. Seriously, all three of them managed to get hit. I'm playing quite aggressively and pig-headedly as well, but anyway. Yeah, Celtis and Celtis Queen do merge into one. When you choose the quest, it will seem as if there are actually two monsters that need to be killed in the quest, because both of them will appear, like on the quest sheet. But the only requirement is that Celtis Queen is slain, and she is an entirely separate monster. She becomes more aggressive when he is mounted on her. And therefore she gets more damaging attacks. So this is a capture quest, I do need to remember that. I might shoot the Celtis a bit. We've got a knockdown, or a KO, which is somewhat concerning. I don't want us to accidentally kill her. It's more likely when a KO is in effect that we accidentally kill her. I really should have paid more attention to the weapons that these guys are using. Remember, I was wondering if any of them had high rank weapons. I should have checked that, because that is actually going to affect the likelihood of us failing this quest. Do we have another KO? I'm going to put down a trap. Yep. Look at that. These guys, these fucking, idiotic Charge Blade players, they just get so caught up in their Charge Blade combos that they just don't realize the risk. Ugh. So about 60 seconds ago, I was pulling back, and these guys were like, "Wow, Charge Blade! Look at us go! Watch! My files explode." Jesus. I do hate this quest, I just want to be very clear. Because we always fail. So what's going on with Garo? What's his loadout? Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I don't know why he needs guard +2. But aside from that, he's got acceptable defense. So he's just playing like shit. Zelda has got a high rank weapon. It's technically G rank. It's rarity 8, but it's very low G rank. Raw only. And he's got Challenger +2, full high rank armor. Dante is using a high rank weapon with full high rank gear. And they're pumping their way through G rank. They are not working on their loadouts. To be fair, well no, I was about to say to be fair they're playing okay, but no, they're actually dropping like flies. But I'm not going to sit here and tell them to fucking improve their loadouts. I personally don't care. They're just people for me to play with for now. There are enough people playing this game seriously for me to not waste my time encouraging them to improve the strategy with which they progress through the game. Because the thing is, if you approach the game in the right way, you're more likely to continue playing. If you approach it in the way that they're playing, they may lose interest and then just move on to something else. But as I say, there are enough people playing seriously that I don't need to do that. Well, the lack of variety, I think, is not completely unacceptable when you're just going through the game. I mean, by G2 you should have a few options at hand, but I don't think it's as bad to be working your way through a rank with just one single loadout. When I'm going through G rank, I tend to have maybe 2 general use weapons that I'm upgrading, along with a bowgun loadout. So it's basically a variety of 3 possible weapons that I can choose that would be appropriate for the level that I'm at. Which, you know, I guess is still an improvement upon just using that one single charge blade, but anyway. There's always the temptation to refer to charge blade users as brainless. They just... but the thing is, they are very methodical weapon types. Zelda has disconnected great, so... Zelda, if we do succeed in clearing this quest, is not going to benefit from the fact that it has been cleared. Do you know what that means? It means that we are likely to have to do it again. Because this is a key quest for both of the 2 G2 players. So even if we do clear this one, it's not the end of the experience. We're going to have to do this again. Come to think of it, did my... Okay, so I had begun to place my pitfall trap, but interestingly the quest failed before the pitfall trap actually left my inventory. So, fortunately I do still have that. I'm dealing more damage during this quest than I was in the last one because I've actually brought power coatings, but... Oh god. Get your goddamn stamina destroying crap away from me. Right, Zelda's back. The thing is, you focus on making something general use, Peaberry. You don't have to worry about making the best possible loadout. I would say that by G2, these guys need to stop doing key quests and make something general use for G rank. Because by the time they're at G rank Elders, it's going to be extremely unacceptable for them to be relying on high rank defense. So, I don't know if they need a guiding hand. I think we've seen the standard to which Garo plays the game, and he's the one who's effectively their guide here, so I shouldn't be surprised that they're happy to blast through the key quests of G2, but there may be a scenario where they reach G3, decide, no, this is actually quite ridiculous. We should make something more level appropriate in terms of armor. And then they may do that. We do need to keep track of damage dealt now. Do we have a limp? Yes, that's a limp. Very good. I'm happy to use my trap. Just so that these guys don't end up wasting theirs. I almost had mine cancelled. Fucking remote, bro. Get away. Alright. So, like I said before, not as positive a victory as one might think. We may have to do this again for Zelda's benefit. Because he was actually unlucky enough to disconnect. He only had to stay connected for a short time. To be fair, this was a very short quest, but... yeah, I'm not going to blame his internet because the netcode of this game is horrific. It is horrific. The connectivity in this game is a special thing. I don't know much about how video games work, right? But my theory of why connectivity is so bad actually relates to variable frame rate. I think it's difficult for players to remain connected with each other if the players are experiencing different frame rates. So, I think that variable frame rate, which has caused so many issues when it comes to emulating this game smoothly, also extends to the reliability of network connectivity. Just sit down. You can see the latency here. Look how long it takes for me to fucking sit at the table. Yes, okay. That was more than 5 seconds. I don't think it really, I don't think it really helps to call me the MVP when I'm in the company of players like these, but anyway. I don't know what they're talking about. The language that they're speaking, I think, is Spanish. Yeah, it's actually definitely Spanish. If I'm ever uncertain as to whether or not I'm reading Spanish, it's because I'm checking to see if it's Portuguese. Because they are very similar. It's just there are certain things that are unique to Spanish that do not appear in Portuguese, like certain words, I think. So I'm kind of looking for those words, or those conjunctions. Looking for that as well, yes. Garo has left. I don't know if that was intentional or what. We'll find out. The thing is, Garo has not sent anything in the chat recently, so this is not a case, I don't think, of him leaving intentionally. I think that was a disconnect. But the thing is, it's more likely that you're going to disconnect from the online session here in-game than disconnect from the room entirely. So maybe that was just him leaving the group. Maybe I had made the assumption that he was working more closely with them, but I was, oh, fuck off. They've immediately posted the quest again because Zelda missed out. I don't know if we're going to get Garo coming back. Let me just check. I think he was talking to them. Yeah, he was talking to them every now and again, but you never know. He might not have actually known them at all. There's a possibility that he's just left the room unceremoniously and without any sort of farewell. Which would be slightly annoying. Let's change to something else. I've used this bow enough. Welcome to the Celtus Queen show, where we hunt the same monster over and over again. Yeah, let's go Awaken, make it more fun. This is my only general use Awaken loadout. I need to find something a little better. Yeah. What was this called again? Wind something in Monster Hunter Tri. This is a Monster Hunter Tri weapon design, in other words. Just can't remember what it was called. It was like Wind Eater or something like that. And I doubt that that was the final upgrade, but that was like the initial forging name. It's called the Euros. I can gem out Constitution if I would like to. As in, Constitution -1. May as well do it. I'll see if I've got the decorations for it. If I don't, I'm happy to forge them. Let's change to the skill name. It makes it so much easier. I don't know why you would even bother filtering it any other way. Here we go. Ah, easy. Oh no, I think I had -13, didn't I? Damn it. Have to go and get another Constitution decoration. When you filter by skill name, it just makes this whole process so much easier. Because think about it, you're having to almost memorize a selection of different names from the skill name that shouldn't be necessary. This is extraordinary. Oh, maybe I can trade for Barioth Pelt. Let's do that, because that other thing, I only had one of that. It was Sharpened Beak, I think. Let's trade for Barioth Plus. Here we go. I have plenty of that. I'm going to trade for quite a few. Hopefully these people can bear with me. Gardor has not returned, so I'm fairly convinced that he just left randomly. I think he was becoming increasingly cognizant of the fact that he was playing like actual arse. Alright, so I gemmed out negative Constitution, because I had 3 fucking slots available. May as well. Well, I'm surprised that I remembered Wind Eater. Using Awakening for Ultimate is a little bit eccentric, but I'm doing it anyway. Just because the whole idea of Awaken, it loses its meaning when you include guild weapons, the relic weapons. Because yes, you can get Awaken relic weapons, but it's also possible to get weapons that, like, imagine you've got an Awaken weapon as a relic. It would, I think, in every case be possible to get the exact same stats, except one of them's not Awaken. Like, it would be statistically possible to get the exact same weapon, but it's not Awaken. So it makes Awaken more trivial that way. I'm not going there. I'm worried that I'm going to get hit out of the area. But yeah, for the weapons that you would forge outside of the relic weapons, I don't mind using Awaken. Are you sure this is a different Celtus Queen? There can't be 2 capture... No, this is the same one, Peaberry. There can't possibly be 2 Celtus Queen capture quests in the G2 quest list in the same location. That would be unreasonable. Unprecedented. Yeah, she was just waiting for that, the basic Celtus, the male Celtus, to mount her. Zelda is dead, and Dante is almost dead. Yay. Fear not, I am saving your materials by healing you. Well, I'm glad that I fucking healed you, quite frankly. This is the thing, when you've got really, really low defense. Dive, you clown! I'm happy to accept that you're at a disadvantage because of your lacking defense, but seriously, dive the fucking monster. Yeah, it's a fucking fiesta, alright? Oh, there goes my stamina again. I'll just patiently wait for that to recover. Don't know why she chose to do that attack in that direction. Zelda has only been in the room for about a nanosecond, and he is already on the ground with half of his health missing. So, this does not bode well. I mean, as terse as I was towards Garo, his damage really did help with this group. I don't know how much longer I want to play with these people, but, you know, it depends on the other rooms that I have available, doesn't it? And with my more recent failures in the back of my mind, failures insofar as, you know, not being able to get into rooms, or not being able to find rooms that are appropriate for me, I am more tempted to actually play with these people. Oh god. We don't have to be as concerned about accidentally killing her, I should mention. That's one benefit to the fact that just the DPS in general is lower here. 3 Charge Blade users absolutely beating on a monster does lend itself to high DPS, because the monster just can't fucking do anything. Can't do anything. But, yeah, that also increases the chances of accidentally killing a monster in a capture quest, so I don't know. There's positives and negatives. Get up quickly. Alright. Let's give Dante a hand. What I was trying to mention before is that even if you're surviving the attacks that you're receiving from monsters at very low defense, it is going to require hefty consumption of healing wares in order to keep up with the health loss. Have we got a limp? No, that's just a regular walk. Let's try to build up a bit more damage before she leaves. Hopefully she will start limping. Limp, please. No, she is just fucking perambulating in some direction. I like how Dante's pinging like it's limping. It's not, mate. There's a reason why she's going in that direction. Yells is backseat hunting, commenting on the fact that Dante wasted his red shield. I don't know. I just want to get my full combo out, really. So the previous person, Clown, just left, randomly. It wasn't... It came out of nowhere. There was no goodbye, there was no noticeable reason for his departure, he just left. So, it's just the 3 of us now. And we're having to do this quest a second time. Technically a third time. The first time we failed it, the second time we succeeded, but then the other guy who was going to... Oh, look at them try to capture it. Bless these fucking people. Bless them. They genuinely thought that it was limping. Anyway. No, it wasn't just a case of them being concerned that it might be ready to capture. They genuinely thought it was limping out of the area. Do they not realize that if you're in the starting area... So we were previously in the starting area, right? And we watched the monster limp out. That is not subject to change. That's... If the monster is weak and leaving its starting area, it's always going to go in the same direction. Well, I shouldn't say weak. Weak can sometimes have a limp associated with it and sometimes not. But if the monster is limping out of its spawn... Jesus Christ. I don't know what to do with you people, I really don't. If you spent less time trying to capture a monster that wasn't actually capturable and more time actually hitting it, it might have actually been limping out of the area by now, but instead, you're dead. Well, they're not even at G3 yet. They're at G2. And they're experiencing the ramifications for, I guess, their choice to focus purely on key quests, rather than build their armor sets. I'm going to explain it to them. I don't know how good they are at English, but I'm going to tell them. I've told them. Oh, well, they're nice people. One of them said, Countess, thank you very much for the help, bro. Which is a nice thing to say. But it is true that I said you guys need better armor than this. It's not... I don't say it unkindly. I don't say it with any sort of abrasion. It's just a reality. Like, if you choose to focus purely on key quests, even though you have not yet created an armor set that's level appropriate for G rank, you're going to get quests like these. Okay, the response to what I said was, let's farm to make the set of this monster. No. I will do this quest one more time, so that Zelda can have it completed as a key quest, but I am not grinding this monster so that they can make the armor set for it. I don't think it's a particularly good one. Anyway. They can't even capture it. Well, oh god. Maybe I should bring a charge blade and just SAED it the whole time so that it can't move. They can speak English just fine, by the way. The other guy said yes, we need it and urgently. Yes, referring to better armor. I do not agree, however, with their decision to... Do you know what? I need to give them a hand. I'll bring my heavy pierce set. Just so that we can get this over and done with. We want a one-zone limp. Otherwise it confuses the situation a bit. If I use this loadout, he will limp in the first area. If you are, for example, very close to getting a limp, and the monster leaves, you're very, very likely to actually accidentally kill the monster. Because if a monster has just entered another area, there is like a period of time where it's not going to limp out. It might be a 30-second period of time, it might be 1 minute, but even if the monster would otherwise be limping at that point, it has to actually wait until that 30 seconds or 1 minute has transpired before it can leave the area again. So, if you are relying on that limp, it's a problem. What I could alternatively do, this might even be a better idea, I might bring Capture Guru, because I think I have a set that carries Capture Guru. Let me just double check. Capguru, here we go. It's very much a capture set. Miraculous Luck, Capture Guru, Capture Expert. Very good. There is no 25-point skill, just to be clear. Now, if I could get Hoarding as well. Oh, never mind. I thought it was something else. Well, let me see if there's another weapon that I can use. I might bring the Fatalis Fortia. Although, the sharpness is a bit shit. Without sharpness +1. Yeah, we'll go with what I had before. Show the armor off. It's the Goldrathian female loadout. It's very golden, as you can see. It's even got a headdress. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I don't whip it out often. In fact, this may be the first time on camera that I've ever pulled it out. Only because only recently have I been playing this game regularly. You have to understand that from 2015 to 2019, I never recorded this game. And then I recorded it like once in 2019, and then maybe once again in 2021. Like, literally, it is the least played Monster Hunter game on my channel of the games that I have a very high-level character in. So, I will paintball the monster soon. I just want to take advantage of this chance to hit the monster while she's just looking around, getting used to the fact that I'm here and beating on her. I don't really like the fact that I'm bouncing off her mandibles, or however you want to refer to them. Ow. Just managed to get caught by that tail though. It's like the first few pixels of that attack. Alright, congratulations. I'm not sure how I feel about a trap being placed so early, but fine. Just make sure you detonate those bombs before I get there. Do it. Quick. Whatever. Zoom map in is square. I'm saying square because I do have the mod to actually change it to the PlayStation buttons if you haven't noticed. But in addition to that, I am using a PlayStation 4 controller. I am being pinned by the Celtas, and he's very easy to break out of, as you can see. Yeah, I'm going to advise these guys to not get the full Celtas Queen armor. I just don't think it's worth it. So we do have the monster poison. That's a good start. I don't have much poison on this longsword, but it's better than nothing. 240. I suppose 240 is okay for a weapon that attacks as frequently as a longsword. Dante is dead. It's alright, just don't die 3 times before we can get this monster capturable, please. He is sending JA repeatedly, and in all caps in the chat, so at least he is in good spirits. I suppose that's what you need. As you can see, the paintball marker for the monster gets much larger when the normal Celtas has actually mounted the Celtas Queen. Oh, we've got a knockdown, or I keep saying knockdown instead of KO. That's a bad habit. I really need to get myself out of that. But yeah, I'm not at all worried about accidentally killing the monster because I do have Capture Guru. I don't know if they've clocked that fact. I didn't explain it to them. I'm worried that if I say Capture Guru, because they're playing the game in Spanish, they're not going to have a single clue what I'm referring to. But whatever. Hopefully when I signal, they will know to what it is I'm referring. Oh, it's the same in Spanish. Well, thank you. Ow. I think I do still have deodorants from... No, I put them away. How ironic is that? I had deodorants from that one quest where I took them. This is becoming increasingly undesirable. I might have to farcast out. This is so bad. Unfortunately, I don't have a farcaster, so I can't even do that. Alright. I cannot be dying. Not with this group. All feints have to be reserved for these two. I cannot possibly. So what, do I just hang back and... Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do this. So we just got a fourth person. His name is Vlad. I think I've played with him before. Not good! I was extremely close to getting hit and also dying. Oh, capturable, capturable, capturable. Stop it. Stop it. I can now heal. Capturable. My pinging did not stop them attacking, just for the record. She did dig out, didn't she? Yes, she did. Now let's hope that this Remobra party doesn't prevent me from placing my trap. Alright. So we're done with that. I'm going to orient them away from doing any more of this quest, because fuck this quest. I'm sure that there would be an option to do a slaying quest. Or perhaps the slaying quest would be for Desert Zelda's Queen. I don't know. But the point is that it's not a particularly good set. They would be much better placed to, I don't know, get the G-rank Azure Rathalos set. Because I can see that one of them's using the high rank set. Again, the G-rank one's perfectly appropriate, so... Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's a good set for Chargeblade. I hadn't considered that. Fucking hell. Well, look, I'm not joining them on that journey. I'm gonna look for another room, I think. I really think I'm gonna look for another room. Let me see how many other rooms there are for me to join. If there's an abundance of options, I'm gonna get the hell out, because I don't want this to become the Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate stream. There are two people playing... Oh, is that Chrysos? Is that the Chrysos that I know, or is that a different guy? It might be a common name, like a common Greek name, I don't know. Yeah, there aren't many other rooms for me to join. Unless I want to take a chance with 3 Ultimate. I really want to guide them away from this monster. Ugh. Room is disbanded. So we're rehubbing for Vlad, but I don't know if I want to continue playing with them. If they're just going to grind this monster still, I just don't want to do that. Vlad doesn't understand. Probably because they're speaking to him in Spanish. Well, that's a perfectly reasonable request, Peeberry. You're not going to miss anything, don't worry. Ugh. Yep, they have immediately posted this monster. Fuck. I know that you were joking. It's just I'm very dry with my delivery. If I actually didn't think you were joking, I'd probably be losing my mind right about now. So the hunt went okay. Oh, that's very good. This guy is properly naming himself after Vlad. Draculesti. He's named himself Vlad the Third, which is specifically the one that Dracula is based on. I don't think I want to keep playing with these people. I'm cautiously going to take a chance. Greener pastures, maybe? Should I go for it? Let's check again for other 4 ultimate rooms. I think I'm going to give the 3 ultimate group a try. Oh, there's 3 of them now. I might go and do that, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to give it a try. It's so risky. I almost can't believe that I'm doing this, but I'm going to do it. Alright. Have I remembered the Anthena password? Yes, I have. Shockingly, I forgot it in the last recording. Let's see if I'm hunting with a bunch of HR1s. Let's find out. Again, I would prefer personally to stay with 4 Ultimate this early on in the live stream, but I'm not doing any more Zelda's Queen. It's just not happening. Or maybe it is happening. It depends on what this room... Oh, thank fucking God they're G-Rank. They're G-Rank! They're G-Rank! I really wasn't expecting... There's 2 rooms. Okay, I'll join the one with 2 people in it. That's probably more likely to work. We've got Haseo. Very good. A nice dot hack GU. That's what it's called. Dot hack GU. I was going to say dot hack roots, and then I was like, no, that's the prequel anime. Okay, they've got 2 rooms up that aren't fucking working. I just want to show you both of these so that you can participate in what I'm experiencing. Hurry up! Oh, here we go again. I really do hate Twitch when it... Not Twitch, OBS. I hate it when it wants to do this. So, I've got 2 rooms here. Neither of them are rooms that I can join. I'm going to communicate with these people just so that we can figure this out. So, you would assume that the one with 2 people in it would be the one that I'd want to join. I attempted to join. And I presumably failed to join. That's what happened last time. Thank God they're responding to me. That's a good start. Just fucking join it. Hurry up. Doesn't want to connect. I'm just letting them know that I'm seeing 2 rooms up but can't join either of them. Hello? You actually going to join this time? Connection failed. Okay, so it actually told me connection failed on that occasion. Please. Connection lost. I'm going to ask them to maybe make a new room. I'm going to ask them if it would be possible for them to make a new hub, because the ones that I'm seeing are broken, so... I have to spam the button in this game as well? No. Well, this is the thing, AJ, I know to spam the button in 4 Ultimate, but it's not giving me any different results, as you can see. So... yeah, definitely spamming the button is the procedure in 4 Ultimate. Well, no, I've spammed the button to join, AJ, and it's giving me a connection issue for both of the rooms. Okay, we're already seeing a change here, so... okay. Alright, what do you think the new room is? Okay, it's apparently Chrysos. It's funny, AJ, you say that you need to spam the button, but just to be very clear, I've played a lot of this game here on the emulator, and I've never needed to do that before. Connection failed. What the fuck is going on? Try again. Well... maybe they're using an ISO that I can't connect with. What frustrates me beyond anything is that what we are currently seeing is something that I've never experienced, and I've played a decent amount of Emulated 3 Ultimate, but it's happening while I'm live. Never seen this before, but it has to happen when I'm live, of course. What a joke! And then it's going to fail again, because for some reason I can't connect to this fucking guy. I don't get it. And it looks like they're not connecting to one another either. Let me try connecting to him. Okay, that was just fine. That's the way it should be. All it should be is, I click on it, I join once, and it just works. So Chrysos was trying to host a room for me, but I was completely unable to join, for one reason or another, but with this guy, worked immediately. And Chrysos is saying, alright, I'll join there. I'm really confused, because it seems that these guys are not communicating. Keep in mind, there are 4 people here, and they don't seem to be actually liaising with one another. I don't understand. So they both made 2 separate rooms, even though the only one... okay, so... Chrysos is here now, and now Haseo is here. So there was only one room that was appropriate. Chrysos, the one that he was hosting, didn't work for me. But literally, every time that I've played this game, if a room worked, like if I could connect to a room, it would just be a case of click on it, and then click join, that was it. I would never have to spam anything. And quite frankly, the same is the case this time around. The only room that actually worked was Monkey's room, and I didn't have to spam anything for his. So, there you have it. Haseo is reacting to my hunter rank. Yeah, to be clear, my hunter rank was not particularly impressive on the Wii U version, but I'm pretty much the only person who has a high-ranked character playing Emulated at the moment. For one reason or another, I'm the only person who actually brought their old save over and wants to continue playing the game. I don't know if that means anything, I don't know if it's strange that I'm the only one who wants to continue playing after the servers have shut down, but I don't care. I feel that it's quite fortunate that there are actually so many people still playing the game in G-Rank nowadays. Yes, weird texture pack for 4 Ultimate. It changes everything. People who are so desperate to play 3 Ultimate can just launch 4 Ultimate and feel like they're actually playing that. Do I? Oh, I don't think I have an Awakened Thunder Lance, no. Awakened Thunder is problematic in this game. It's actually really difficult to get anything for it. Okay, how about I just use the Slime Lance? Wherever it is, here we go. Rising Tempest. Feels weird to call this the Slime Lance as well. Because obviously in pretty much every Monster Hunter game except this one, this is an exceptionally good raw lance. Managed to get Exchanger. Always happy with that. I'll change back to one screen while I'm actually thinking of it, because otherwise I'm going to forget. Hurry up! Oh, fuck, that's right. I wish I could explain to you, in a succinct and pithy fashion, how ridiculous the screen capture of this is. So, I'm gonna try. So if I'm recording 4 Ultimate and I switch to 3 Ultimate, it'll just work in OBS. But if I want to change screens, I then have to manually select the screen that I want, otherwise it doesn't recognize it. It's just extraordinary. I don't know what to do with myself, emotionally, when I have to use this fucking piece of shit software. And as I understand it, if I chose to pay for other broadcasting software, it probably would be worse than what I'm using here, so... You know, I don't really want to be in the position where it's almost beggars can't be choosers, because I'm not contributing financially to this software that I'm using, you know. But... it's just annoying that it often doesn't work very well at all. That was a failed flash bomb, but at least it didn't blind me periodically. Briefly, I should say, not periodically. You can see it just very briefly gives you that almost negative filter and a bit of white. It doesn't actually blind you or prevent you from seeing anything for a while. Yeah, slime in 3 Ultimate. At least it's not the boring shit, like the obvious slime weapons. Oh, maybe not the best time to sharpen. You can stop running around now. Oh. Oh, I wouldn't even dream of getting in the way of you and your switch axe. Wouldn't even dream of it. It's almost as if I'm the one dealing the most damage, but I'm just feeling really, really charitable today, and, like, really inclusive. To the exclusion of myself. I'm just gonna let you use your shitty switch axe and hit the monster in a way that prevents me from hitting the monster. You know, I have no qualms about that whatsoever. You know, please continue to use your shitty Lucent Nagakuga switch axe. In fact, I implore you to do so. I beg of you. I'm not bitter at all. Whoever is doing the flash bombs may want to consider not doing that, because this has been a very poor performance. But yeah, we're in 3 Ultimate now. Wasn't really my first choice, but I consider myself to be very fortunate that I had a group to join while live. Much better to do this than continue playing 4 Ultimate and doing endless Celtus Queen hunts. It literally would have been until the end of the live stream had I chosen to stay in that room, because those guys wanted to make the armor. And it wasn't just for one person, it was for two people. So that's going to be subject to the vicissitude of, you know, drop rates and all of that. So by the time both of them have made the full armor set, we would have probably done maybe 10 Zelda's Queen quests. Among other things. So... Well, you're actually right. There should be 4 of us. Did the other guy disconnect? Or was he departed without? Do you know, Yells, the only reason why I didn't notice this is because oftentimes when I'm live streaming, I tend to get a little bit almost tunnel visioned and I don't notice that stuff, but yeah, you're right. I do not know what happened to the other guy. He is the person who hosted the room, Monkey. Or Monkeys, whatever his fucking name is, I'm not sure. But he either disconnected or was departed without. And he has not commented at all in the Citra chat and has not left the Citra session. So I don't know what the hell's going on. It's a bloody good question and I don't know what's happening. If we did depart without him, then I've got no idea. But basically how it works in 3 Ultimate, the red player is the person who made the room, not the person who posted the quest. So in normal circumstances, the lack of a red player would suggest that that person had disconnected, but that's not the case here in this game. You can actually have posted the quest and then depart as a different color to that of the red player. It's in order of who joined the session, not in order of who joined the quest. So yeah, I don't know what's happened. I will make inquiries upon the conclusion of this particular hunt. Oh, Jesus. No, this is what I was explaining, P-Berry. So, whoever posted the quest is here. I'm pretty sure. As for who posted it, I don't know, but this is what I'm trying to say. Like, the red player is not the one who posted it. You think Monkey didn't ready up? Well, this is fucking horrendous, and I have to take partial responsibility here. I apologize for not noticing that he wasn't here. I have an excuse. I'm rather focused on the live stream and playing the game. I'm not sure about these guys. They don't give a damn, supposedly. Having said that, though, I really should try to be more observant. I will apologize to him. He hasn't left the session, so he's being a good sport about it. I wouldn't have hung around. That sort of behavior is obscene. It's a group of people who got together in the Anthena server as well, so... I find that it's uncharacteristically flippant of these people, given that they got together in the Anthena server, to leave someone behind. Alright, that's the end of... Oh, fucking it. I have to actually hit skip on the bottom screen to skip the cutscene. What a joke. If you ever need an example of why 3DS Monster Hunter is a complete meme, imagine having to click on the bottom screen to skip the cutscene. Fuck off. What a joke. That's what gets me. Start and select have the same function. There is no need for that. Do you see what I mean? Like, nobody benefits from having 2 buttons doing the same thing. So just have the kick and the skip function be on either start or select. I understand that Capcom likes to flip that in every fucking game that releases. Fine. But have it on one of them. Don't make me tap on the screen like a dick. In my case, I have to go and grab my mouse like an even bigger dick. Well, I got a mantle for my troubles. I will happily accept it. Honestly. 3DS Monster Hunter. At the time, I was almost traumatized by how few people cared that Monster Hunter was coming out on a system as juvenile and ridiculous as the 3DS. Perfectly appropriate for some games, but Monster Hunter, you have got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. And they've actually gone out of their way to, you know, make you tap on the fucking screen while playing the game. What a joke. Well, I'm assuming that was a scam message, P-Berry, unless the person did say something you know, particularly inappropriate. I am making the inquiries that I said I would. It's important. I don't know who posted that quest, but whoever posted that quest has something to answer for. Chrysos is instantly asking, "Monkey, are you there?" Like within seconds of me asking what's going on with the guy. Let me figure out who posted it. Of course, if he is now AFK, there is absolutely no reason why he shouldn't be. I'm not going to stand around staring at my screen. Monkey is on a call, I think. What do you mean on a call? And what do you mean you think Monkey is on a call? My question is, was he on a call when you departed without him? It might be that they're actually, apparently, okay. They departed without him because they knew that he wasn't around to play. I don't know what on a call means. Does he work from home? What's going on? Is this a business call? Nature's call. Yeah, he's just been sitting on the toilet for the last 15 minutes. Well, whatever. Yes, this is actually the Rust Duramboros helmet. I don't think the standard Duramboros helmet has 3 horns. It's important, he said. Well, good news, everyone. Monkey was not departed without good reason. If possible, do not construct your sentence so that the word without is actually spoken twice back to back. Alright, Hallowed Jen Moran is going to be posted on the board. I'm happy with that. P-Berry, there is a thing called the right to disconnect. You know, if you're working from home, it's a different thing, but God, if you're not at work, you shouldn't be, like, dragged into a work call. I think that's ridiculous. Yeah, Yells, this is a Gemran subspecies, the only one that actually exists in the series, and it's only in this game. Gemran appears in 3 games, and this is the only one where he has a subspecies. I mean, some people might refer to Darren as a subspecies, it's not really accurate. He is similar enough to appear as a subspecies, but he does have a different name. I would consider Darren Moran to just be the 4th gen version of the 3rd gen. When constructing a sentence, try not to say gen twice back to back. Anyway. What should I use? Something fire, of course, but what would be fun? Something awaken, because I have some sort of raging hard-on for awaken weapons in this game at the moment. It's because I've spent the last 8 years using non-awaken weapons, so... So, maybe longsword? Chrome bolts? Yeah, let's do chrome, although that's not much fire damage, is it? Actually, I've talked myself out of it looking at this sharpness. This is abysmal. Raiders Savagery? Let's do it. Yeah. Well, I certainly can't speak for Monkey and his professional obligations. Let's get Exchanger again. And I'm happy with that. Alright, this is going to be a pretty quick hunt, I think. Because we do have Chrysos using Crouch Fire Pierce, from what I can deduce from this choice of weapon. He's got Pierce and Normal up, I don't know about that. I actually don't know about this armor set at all. Which is a very euphemistic way of saying, I think this is very likely to be a shit loadout. Usually with a gun, it's ideal to have a very focused, a very narrow focus, is what I mean to say. When it comes to your skills, it's probably not a good idea to do this. I mean, if you've got Silver Bullet, that's a rather different scenario. But he does not have Silver Bullet, so this is not very exciting. Maybe I should try not to be hypercritical of other people's loadouts. Yeah, the one thing about Gemaran and Halogen also fits into this category. I can hunt them forever. I will never get sick of them. Lao Shanlung is a very different scenario because, or a very different conversation, because I find that monster to be insufferably boring. And I've actually had conversations with real human beings, not bots, like real human beings who think that Lao Shanlung is better than Genmaran. They do exist, I can assure you. As implausible as it sounds, there are actual human beings with thoughts and opinions and feelings who prefer Lao Shanlung to Genmaran. I can't fight that monster without getting bored. Genmaran, however, does keep me entertained. And it has to be said that, just to put a date on it, let's say 2012. By 2012, I had hunted about 400 of them. That was a while ago. Like, I'm thinking back to my original try character. I remember seeing 400 and something around that time. It may have even been 2011, like late 2011, where I had hunted 400 and something of them. So just to put it in context, like, since then, I played Try a second time, with a new character, played this game, played Portable Third. Well, in fact, that's not even including Portable Third back in 2012, so Portable Third would have been maybe 100 at that time. Certainly not that much. I mean, certainly not 400. But, you know, I did a little bit of gen in Portable Third. Maybe I'm being excessive in saying that it was 100. It was probably closer to 50, but, you know, I was doing a lot of gen in that game as well. And I just don't find the monster to be boring. Lao Shanlong, on the other hand, I've probably only hunted a fraction in comparison. And I find that quest to be insufferable, so... Speaking of insufferable, my sharpness level is that. I think this was a bad idea. Lao Shanlong fight, yeah. Crouch Fire Pierce Man is on the case. Currently glitching out of existence as we speak. Maybe on his screen he was in place the entire time. Certainly not on my screen. You can see how quickly we're breaking the spine weak points here. Oh god! I was not listening for the sound. You can call it the wiggle, but there's also a sound associated with it. I was neither watching for the wiggle nor listening for the sound, so that's my fault. Quite beautifully, and I don't know how many games you can do it in, but you can position yourself to be thrown into the back of the ship. I don't know if that's a myth or what. I did see video evidence of it in Portable Third, but you can actually position yourself on the back of the Jamaran to be thrown in the precise spot where you would otherwise climb up into the boat, except you never climbed. Like, you were literally flying through the air and then you entered that hole in the back of the ship. And yeah, it's amazing. I've never done it. I've only seen it done, and only in Portable Third. I don't know if it's something that can happen in all of the games. I would suggest probably not. Depends on how the game designers did that entranceway. But if the game allows it, if your character touches that back entrance, it will accept it as you entering it. Oh Jesus, can I hit the button? Hit the button! I'm doing it one-handed here. There's apparently a black dot. Not good. Where's the black dot? Gotta find... Oh yeah. Yeah. I fixed it. Thank you, Peaberry. We have saved Atarax, like you and I, from suffering. Particularly me. I'd be so annoyed if I saw the live stream and there was a little black dot there. As you can see, Haseo was attempting, quite rightly, to shoot his cannon. But the monster was bound a little bit too far from the boat. You've probably noticed that I almost never use Pierce. What are you doing, man? There was no requirement whatsoever for you to jump off the boat. I'm sure that was unintentional. Oh well, sucks for him. Well, perhaps it doesn't suck for him. It really doesn't matter. He doesn't need to get on the back of the monster. He can just crouch fire the face and deal incredible damage. I really should have chosen different dual blades. I was affected by the siren call of awakened damage. Ugh. Might heal myself here. I'm just seeing how long it takes for me to actually drop from purple sharpness here. I can get a few demon dances out at least. This isn't to throw us off, is it? That's just for the tail. Yeah, that's just for the tail. Ugh, my stamina. There's a whole lot of sharpening going on here. Now I'm getting thrown off. I tried to make contact there. Some good damage from those pierce shots. As I say, this should be a quick hunt because that constant damage from the pierce shots, and I would assume that it can get into the mouth weak point. If it can, if there is no oh, I was not paying attention to that. I don't even know if the gong had recharged or cooled down. Both of those terms sound ridiculous for a gong. But even for like a mechanism that hits a gong sounds ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know if you can actually pierce into the mouth, or if the mouth needs to be open when he falls over in order to get that hit zone. Obviously, I've always thought logically that you could pierce into it, but now that I think about it more deeply, it's possible that you can only hit that particular part of the monster by creating a situation where it's available. In other words, knocking the monster over. Ugh. Now, I don't believe that you're given the chance to jump onto the back. It's like Shen Galrin's weak point. So you can pierce into it. Okay. As I say, I wasn't entirely sure. I had always assumed that you could pierce into it, but I had never received confirmation of that, if that makes sense. If you can pierce it somehow, you can get the damage. Well, that's good. Oh god. I'm stuck in my combo. I'm just going to sharpen up for fun. Well, unless I'm interrupted by a Delix. In which case, I'll just go for it anyway. So, if I were to jump onto the back of Jen at this point, I would only get about a minute's worth of time to attack him before he tries to throw me off. I'll sharpen up before I start attacking him, just for good measure. Ow. Oh, shit. I'll do one more demon dance and then get out of here. Also, he says, but I think that flinch actually cancelled out his wiggling motion. No, he's still not doing it. Okay, I have overestimated the monster's appetite for throwing me off at this time. Here we go. Oh well. I should check more carefully. basically. I didn't realize that Chrysos was on the back. He had absolutely no reason to be on the back as the gunner. He's now apologizing for his death, which is definitely in order because I think we've now had 2 deaths. If we would have failed this quest, that would actually be ridiculous. He may have even been the first death, I'm not sure. I'm not going to assume that to be the case, but based on the fact that he's the gunner, it's likely that he was the first death. I don't remember at this point who died first. But yeah, that's not great. The likelihood of someone dying is not high, but the likelihood of failure becomes pretty high if only 1 death is required at this stage in order for us to fail. If someone does something strange, then we will fail the quest. Go to the final showdown, hurry up. Well, I have to get my charge back up after that. Are you kidding me? Go to the final showdown. Why do you prolong this process? Look at him go. He's just popping up for fun, you know. Not to achieve anything. What a rascal. What a most rambunctious individual. Of course, the typical way that I approach the final showdown is to actually be present at the side of the monster to actually hit the monster with my damaging weapons instead of using the siege weaponry. Chrysos has decided to position himself with siege weaponry. I have to say that depending on the amount of damage that your team is doing, it can be helpful to use the siege weaponry, particularly the gong, because the gong is important. That's, you know, if you get it at the right time, or rather if you hit the gong at the correct time, you are able to give the team the opportunity to hit inside the mouth. But you see, if you're choosing to stand by the side of the Gemmaran, there is no way that you're going to be able to get from the Gemmaran to the gong in time to be able to hit it once he begins that attack. So in order for the team to have that opportunity, it is actually essential that someone is on the boat. So I don't completely dismiss the usefulness of standing at the boat, but I don't know about doing it at the very start. In fact, I do know. I do know about it, and I think it sucks. I think it's crap, and I think it doesn't help. But who knows? Chrysos might be out of stuff, and by stuff, I mean ammunition. There's no need for me to be quite so vague about what he's missing, or what he is out of. I have high grade earplugs, I don't need to do that. Oh, it turned out I did need to do that. As you can see. Well, perhaps I didn't need to do that, but I needed to make some kind of evasive maneuver. Ideally to the side, if anything. Which I will now demonstrate. Provided I'm standing here, I'm not going to be hit by the tusks. Haseo's having a hard time. I don't have a life powder, so I can't help. By the way, don't die, because if you do, we fail. We will actually fail. I don't remember the last time I failed a gen hunt. It would have been a very long time ago. It most likely would have been in this game. But it was a long time ago. I don't remember it. I can probably count on 2 hands the number of times I've failed a gen hunt in my lifetime. In my monster hunting experience. It sounds a bit too dramatic to say, in my lifetime. You know, as if I've been hunting gen for the entirety of my life. Although, in percentage terms, it has been a long time. Alright. He was gearing up for, I think, his ranged sandblast attack. If you see him start to breathe in a whole lot of sand, it means he's gearing up for that. It appeared as if he was doing that. As I suggested, pretty quick hunt. You know, for a G-rank Hallowed Gem Moran, keeping in mind that he is an endgame monster, and we've only got 3 people, that was pretty quick. Too bad, Yells, there's nothing to jinx, the monster's dead. I'll keep that there. So my choice to take something or not take something is not something that you can really make sense of from your position. Because you can't see the bottom screen, which is where actually it shows whether I've got 99 of it in the box or not. That is what determines whether or not I take something. If I've already got a full stack of it, just so that I can preserve some amount of space in my box, I do not take it. And then I think I can just sell both of these. Or even discard them. I've got max Zenny, there's just no need to sell them. The bottom screen is actually more utilized in this game, in terms of the information that is given to the player, versus Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, so it's technically worse for you guys for me to use only the top screen here in this game, but I do not feel differently about the benefits to keeping with just the top screen. I think it's more immersive, looks better, and I'm going to keep with it. Unless, of course, I want to show the players. I'm going to visit the bathroom. I will be back in a few minutes. A much welcomed comment by Peaberry in the chat. Oh. I'm gonna do, I think, another 2 hunts maybe. It does depend on the next hunt that's posted. If it's a fairly long one, it'll just be the 1 hunt. If it's a quick one, I'll commit to 2. Yes, Peaberry, but not all of them need to relate to the dropping of a turd. The releasing of bodily excrement. I probably shouldn't have said that I was going BRB. I feel like that slowed down the pace of the room somewhat. Well, this guy's using Awaken. Not just Awaken, but Awaken Hunting Horn. That's extraordinary. This guy is 154. Rank 154, and he's got an Awaken Hunting Horn set. I don't even have an Awaken Hunting Horn set. And I've definitely got a penchant for Awaken. What would we like to do, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know what the hell's going on with this monkey guy. He has hosted the room and disappeared. But do you know what? Hunting with 3 people is, including myself, is also fine. Now, I'm not going to accept your guild card, but I'll happily send you mine. If I could possibly navigate the button combination required. For some reason, Haseo is not accepting guild cards. Fine. This is not the kind of emote that I want to see. This gesture is unhelpful. I would like to get into a hunt as soon as possible. Otherwise, it's just going to be one more. Alright, Haseo is ready to go. Don't be shy now. Quite frankly, you can post anything as long as it's not Abyssal Laggy Cruise. Oh. He wants to do a Latrion. So remember when I said, you know, depending on the quest that's posted, it's either going to be 2 more or 1 more? He wants to do a Latrion, which means that this is going to be the last one. I'll just bring my PS Heavy Bowgun, I guess. Maybe? Unless there's a bow that I would like to bring. Do I have a bow that's good for general use? I'm sure I do. You know, besides the Kilby Deer Shot. I don't have a set for that anymore. I used to. No longer. Serra Cyclord. Yeah, let's do that. Let's bring the Serra Cyclord. I'm not going to bring Heavy Pierce Bowgun anymore to a Latrion. That's just getting boring. I don't think load up's required for this. Serra Cyclord. Well, let's see what it does if I have load up. Because sometimes it's good to use load up for... Jesus, come on, just... L Pierce. Here we go. There you go. So, there's no reason for me to use the non-load up set. because I can either settle for Pierce level 3 on the 3rd charge, or if, based on circumstances, I happen to hold my charge for longer, I can then reap the benefits of Pierce level 5 on a level 4 charge, which is very good. Very, very good damage. In fact, that increase in damage, not just from the charge level, but also from the Pierce level, will incentivize me to hold it for longer, so... Yep, there we have it. I should check to see if I can upgrade this set further. I really should check that, because that's one thing that I haven't really done with all of my armor sets, particularly my Myriad Gunner sets. Oh, that is in desperate need of upgrading. One of the main reasons why I'm checking that now is because this is a Latreon. You can see how many true armor spheres are required for this. Wow. I'm definitely glad that I checked. Okay, we are now at maximum defense. We are at 448. Not amazing. But for a gunner loadout, perfectly fine. I don't have any high rank pieces here. So, this is all good. I don't think I can bring power coatings. No. I can only bring exhaust and paint. I'm not going to bring either. So, that's good enough for me. Got pierce up, load up. Obviously the effect of that is clear. Critical eye +1 and focus. So we have reduced our negative affinity by a small amount. We are now at -15, better than nothing. And, or rather better than it was if I didn't have critical eye +1. We've also got pierce up. So, this is fine. Hasuyo says, I'm scared, lol. Maybe don't be. Be a big boy. It's only a Latreon. Although he is very strong. What's your situation? Oh. This is a nice loadout. I do like it. It looks inspired. It's just I don't like the idea of you having a rarity 7 armor piece against a G rank Latreon. It just means you have to be a bit more careful. That's really all that I need to say. What's Chrysos doing? He's bringing Grongigas, which is good. We'll see if he can use it. There is definitely a technique to using a hammer against this monster. Depending on how long these guys take to get ready, I'm just gonna... Like, what I did was before, when I went to the bathroom, I also put on the oven. I'm gonna put something in the oven if these guys are taking a while. Because I may as well take advantage of the time that I'm taking to hunt here, to also cook the food that I want to cook. And I'm becoming increasingly convinced that that's actually worth doing. The longer these guys take. What's the item to recover Team 2 life power? Oh god. Don't know what that was about. That was a rather sudden cough. I'll be back in a moment. I'm going to put something in the oven. These guys are taking a while. I'm back. Oh no. Just playing around. Just playing around with things. I like the idea of having a bottle with no label on it. It feels old-fashioned. It's like I'm on an old sailing ship with an unmarked bottle. Just pouring things out. I don't know what I'm saying. This is Boronia. It is a spiced fortified wine. Just topping it up. No, Peaberry. In fact, I don't know what you're referring to. I like this glass. You can see my eye through the hole. I can see you. I can see you. What do you think the hunters get up to while they're sailing to a locale? Cook meat, talk to their cats. Oh, monkeys here. Well, that's just as well. Looks like we get a full team. I actually feel that that's not a good thing. I feel like there's a higher chance of us failing. Hasio says, don't worry, now we're gonna fight Satan. It feels like we just, rolled back the clock about, I don't know, 12 years, maybe? To have someone this scared of an Elatrion. Nobody eats for insurance. It's like no one knows about that food skill. I'm the only one who drinks, or rather eats for it. Drinks for it. It's not portable third. That's where you drink for skills. I'll tell you what, these guys need some insurance. Okay, Monkey has never fought this monster in 3 Ultimate. He specifies specifically 3 Ultimate. Okay, he's only fought this monster in Generations Ultimate and World. So I don't think any World-related skills are going to help him here. But he has fought the monster in Generations Ultimate, so, you know, very similar fight. He's just not familiar with the existence of the Ballista Binder. So, that's really his only problem. I could have explained it to them, but they're just ready to fight, so very well. They are watching the initial cutscene for fairly obvious reasons. I actually need to set an alarm. Or set a timer for my thing in the oven. Let me do that while this Elatrion cutscene's going on. Okay. Oh, quick. I've got my level 5 there. Or charge level 4, however you want to say that. I'm very happy with this choice of bow. And to be honest, this is so much more fun than using bowgun. I don't have to worry about coatings, ammunition, nothing. Don't have to worry about that negative affinity. Well, sorry, no. I'm thinking of try. I don't have to worry about the Dragon Blight removing my elemental damage, because of course I don't have any. So, all is well. Well, I can see you're attempting to flash bomb. I'd encourage that you don't waste the time. No, monkey, I'm not destroying your ice block thing. You're more than capable of doing that yourself. It's not hard. At least someone's using slime. Well, of course, technically Chrysos is using slime, it's just he's not being particularly effective because he's using a hammer. Hammer can be effective, it's just, it depends on the team, really, as to whether or not the hammer is going to have lots of opportunities. I feel like that arrow completely missed the monster. Why is it that there's no visual effect? Maybe there's an audio effect? I don't know. If there's no critical or negative crit, it's almost like there's no visual effect. It's a bit disconcerting. Maybe I was actually missing before. Excuse my coughing. My familiarity with this monster is almost uncanny. It's like a dance that I've done so many times before. I shouldn't have gone in that direction. It just looked like he was sweeping over into my direction. Stop it, Chris. I was just... Jesus. Take your time to hit the monster rather than wasting your time with me. I don't know if it's worth dropping bombs here, but I suppose we can go for it. I hope, well, on my screen it looked like some hunters were hit, but they didn't get knocked back, so obviously on their screens they were not hit, which is just as well. I think the team's doing a pretty good job. You're not supposed to say things like that aloud. But I'm going to take the risk, because I have faith in the team. The ballista binder should be ready. Maybe I'll check it out. I don't think these guys know about it, so it really falls upon me to make use of it. It's okay if they're all gathering around the monster. Like, that's fine. Because you can see, sure, I miss out, but they're all there ready to hit the monster. So that works out just fine. If none of them know about it, and I'm the only one who does, it means I'm the only one who misses out on dealing the full damage. Which is okay, that tends to be how it works out anyway. But yeah, this specific game, that ballista binder is actually how you get the monster on the ground. You can't flash bomb it. It is technically possible. I have seen it done. It can only be done with the most precise positioning and only at a very precise moment in time. I don't even think it was intended for it to work. I think it was just Capcom's mistake. I think they made the monster resistant to it in a certain way that could have been abused, or that was possible to abuse. And it was done. I have seen people successfully use a flash bomb against this monster on several occasions. I just don't know what the requirements are for it to work. But the implementation of the ballista binder is actually to replace flash bombing, which I somewhat agree with. Because it's on a cooldown, it basically forces you to only be able to get the monster on the ground a certain number of times. And if you miss, it means that's it. You don't get to try again. And I like that. So yeah, I told the flash bombing guy not to bother, because he doesn't know the timing. He could throw 50 flash bombs and not get it. It's very specific and very hard to get. I am happy to demonstrate the lack of danger when it comes to this attack. I just remember back in Monster Hunter Tri, like this is going back like 2010, I was the one guy who would walk at a normal pace to get away from the falling icicles, whereas everyone else was sprinting at full pace. Because there was this perception that you had to be at full speed to get away from them, but no, like once the shadow appears, you had a period of time to get away from it. And it was only because I was familiar with how it worked for White Fatalis, I think. It can't be underestimated how few people who were playing Tri back in those days actually played old Monster Hunter. And it's amazing to think that in those days, Tri was not old Monster Hunter, it was the newest Monster Hunter, it was literally a new frontier. I shouldn't use that word because that refers to an actual version of Monster Hunter, but it was a new frontier for the series, and I used to take great pleasure in telling people tales of old Monster Hunter and, you know, getting reactions out of them, like, guess what? In Freedom Unite, you couldn't do this or that, and, you know, you would get, it was almost like the ooh, ah, but like in text form. It was funny. And so I almost became a storyteller of second-gen Monster Hunter for people who were playing Try and hadn't played a game before this point. Which was funny. I had only played one Monster Hunter game before Try, but I felt like I was in a position to share a completely unrepresented version of Monster Hunter to these people. And it was nice to be able to do that. I enjoyed it. But when I look back on it in hindsight, it makes me realize just how many people came on board in Monster Hunter Try and had never played a Monster Hunter game before that point. And you can see that with how many people in Monster Hunter World had never played a Monster Hunter game except for Monster Hunter Try. So there was a huge percentage of people who had never played a game in the series since Monster Hunter Try, and never played a game before that point. And that honestly matches up with my personal experience with people that I played with. I very rarely came across people that I interacted with in Try, in 3 Ultimate. I met like 2 people that knew who I was back then, in the early days of 3 Ultimate. But you know, later games, absolutely not. Didn't meet any of them. And as I say, basically every person that I played Try with had not played another Monster Hunter game before it. And despite the fact that I had only played Freedom Unite myself at that time, when I was playing Try, I was familiar with the other games. I was aware that there were games before that. Like the first game that I had watched, I think, was Monster Hunter 1. I thought it was Freedom 1, but the amount of headlocking that I was seeing in that recording suggests to me that it was actually Monster Hunter 1. I just don't remember if it was a 4:3 ratio or 16:9. It was at a time in YouTube when it was totally normal to watch with that almost square view instead of that widened view, so it is hard to remember. The person I've hunted with most was a guy in Monster Hunter Try named Stuart. So Stu was a guy that I played with from the UK. I obviously played a lot of Try. I finished in Monster Hunter Try at Hunter Rank 568. And I had about 2,300 hours. Stu had, I think... I actually don't remember how many hours he played, but I think the last time I played with him, he was like 800 and something Hunter Ranks. It took a long time. It took a lot of play to actually get to that Hunter Rank in Try. And he was not the type to grind HR, you have to understand. There were the people who did Elatrion cluster shot runs that would actually grind HR and would do that very effectively. Now, having said that, you had to be very dedicated. Jesus. You had to be very dedicated to grinding Elatrion with cluster runs to actually reach Hunter Rank 999 in any reasonable time. It would take a while. But if you were a person who didn't actually grind HR and just played normally, which he did, he was racking up at least double the time that I had in the game. At least double. Probably more. And we used to play a lot together. I mean, we used to chat more than anything. I used to tell him stories about old Monster Hunter. I used to tell him about, you know... I got him into, you know, extreme music as well. We used to talk about the black metal scene of the 90s. And, yeah, it was great. And I miss that guy a lot. But he was very hardcore. He was the type where you would just be playing with him, and then all of a sudden he would just stop moving. It was because he had actually passed out in his chair while playing. So, you know, when he would just literally stop moving, stop talking, that's when you knew that he had passed out. And then you just leave him alone. Move on. But, yeah, he was pretty hardcore. We basically had almost like a two-man clan going on. But looking back on it, it was a bit embarrassing. I think it was called, oh, I think I might be the first death. Oh no, I'm the second. Okay, I feel a little bit better about it then. If I'm the if I'm the second death, then it's slightly more appropriate, but we do have to be careful now. This is a long hunt where we have to try and avoid failure. It was the first one that you typed. S-T-U-A-R-T. I don't know what happened to the guy. I'm sure he's still around. I'd love to find him again. I mean, I did find a girl who had a crush on him years later in Monster Hunter Tri, but that was a separate issue. But, oh god, I'm now walking into this shit. Yeah, no, that's true. One day we would have departed on a hunt together without me knowing that that was the last one. But you know, that's kind of normal. It's a thing that you experience in online gaming. Thinking back on it, I did have Facebook in those days, but there was never a question of, oh, do you have some other means of contacting you beyond the game? There was something all-encompassing about Monster Hunter Tri in those days where you feel like you didn't have to ask that question. It felt like, oh, I'll see you again. You know, I'll see you tomorrow. It was literally like that. Like, I lived on the game in those days. Like, between 2010 and, let's say, early 2012, I basically lived on Monster Hunter Tri. And so I never questioned whether or not I'd be able to play with him again. You know, if there was some sort of conversation about us not playing the game anymore, I suppose we would have talked about staying in contact, but it never became that. And I don't remember which one of us stopped logging on regularly. It could have been me. I could have been the one to start that, where the routine was broken. But, yeah, it was so long ago now that I just don't remember. His username was Stuart, yeah. That was his name in Tri. I'd say people who played on the European servers would remember him. He played all the time. Much more than me. On the original European servers, I wasn't Lord Zor, I was Lord Zor. Because the resolution of the keyboard was so low on the Wii that the E's actually looked like closed O's. So I was Lord Zor. And yeah. It was quite funny. And I'd actually met another guy who had a name where, like, it made no sense for the E's in his name to be E's. They should have been O's, and I asked him, it's like, did you think that the E's were O's when you were putting out your, like, when you were typing out your name? And he was like, yeah. I thought they were O's. I had no idea. And so I was slightly vindicated by that. I didn't feel quite as stupid at that point. It's because it was alphabetical. If it was QWERTY, I would not have made that mistake, but sometimes, like, if you're not paying attention, and I wasn't, like, when I was making my character name, I was thinking about other things. I was getting excited to play the new Monster Hunter game, I didn't give a shit. But, yeah, because it wasn't QWERTY format, I wasn't thinking, I was just like, oh, fuck. It looks like an O, I'll press that. It was an interesting name, though, in the sense that it just seemed so, so odd. I liked it in a sense. Because it was so weird. No one had a name like mine. But, yeah. Lots of fun memories of Monster Hunter Tri. I have to say, and it's almost sad because it was so long ago, but some of my best memories of playing online video gaming are in Monster Hunter Tri. It was all over the place. I used to have intense arguments with people who seemed to have emotional problems, and I would also have very pleasing and enjoyable experiences with people. The thing about Monster Hunter Tri was that when you were in the end game, like when you were several hundred HRs beyond actually having anything to do, there was a lot of chatting that would go on, and a lot of bullshit. You know, I've talked about it before. We used to, take time to glitch ourselves into strange parts of the map, deliberately shoot ourselves into hidden territories within the deserted island. There's actually a part of the deserted island that's snowy, believe it or not. Like, there's actually a snowy part. If you get inside it, there's like a little alcove. It was almost like Stuart and I, we almost had a little base in there. It's where we used to sit and talk about black metal. Which is so silly now that I think about it, but, it almost sounds very juvenile, but it was cool. It was something that we did, and I miss that, in a sense, but, it was a long time ago. It was like this little alcove somewhere, not in the typical direction you would go in if you were glitching inside the deserted island when you had been pellet shot into the out-of-bounds area. It was like, it was in a weird direction. It was the sort of direction that you would only go in if you had been there enough times before. If you knew where to go. And yeah. It was nice. Just for the record, I almost can't believe that I'm still hunting this monster, and I'm so glad that the thing that I put in the oven, I have already put in the oven. Got another 16 minutes before it's ready. The monster will die in that time, but my god, we're only one death away from failure. Let me max potion that. Fucking hell, that's scary. I was so close to getting chained there. Again, the team is okay. The team's not terrible. It's just that this monster has a lot of health. G-rank Elatrion is a proper Elder Dragon. Not a pushover. Jesus. What's going on? No, please. That was so desperately close to being failure. So desperately close. That's crushing. That's really crushing. A 20-minute hunt? That was almost 25 minutes. A 20-minute hunt with failure. It is what it is. It's really unfortunate. The loss of HRP is nothing. It's negative 35. What you've really lost is time. That's 20 minutes playing the game to achieve nothing. It is to achieve less than what you had achieved before you departed on the quest. You've consumed items. You've lost HRP. It's terrible. Want to try again? Monkey says even more than Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate Event HP. Yeah, that's right. It's because this is the way G-rank monsters used to be. Yeah, I can't do another one. I have things that I need to get done. So, I'm going to let them know that that's all for me. And yeah, I do thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time I'm playing Monster Hunter, or anything else you'd like to watch. I may stream tomorrow, we'll see how we go. But until the next time I record, I bid you farewell, and I thank you for watching. Bye bye.